Actually, yeah. We definitely. I mean, I grew up. I got my interest in pro wrestling from my grandmother, of all people, who loved pro wrestling. I would go over to her house on Sunday. My parents would drop me off, and she would watch me for the day. And I remember we would walk into the house, and she'd be downstairs screaming at the TV, just ridiculous things for an old Italian woman to get that amped up about. But yeah, we watched a lot of that when we were younger, and we always, it always seemed to come back to it in one way or another, just talking about it and things of that nature. But the way the video actually came about is that our tour manager, John, is from Long Island, and when we were talking about doing a video for this record, and we had picked the song Melrose Diner to do, we'd thrown out a couple different ideas. Some more, I guess we want to say, generic than others, but so those we just didn't really feel fit us as a band, and we wanted to do something a little different and something that felt right to us and felt like something we could have fun with, that conveyed us as people and our sense of humor, but also trying to work in something similar to what the song meant to us. So we actually came up with, we developed the whole treatment ourselves, and then got very lucky in the sense that John is actually a member of just a backyard wrestling league that had been established with him and a bunch of his friends, and they'd been doing it for years and years. So it couldn't have worked out better that they already had the ring, and a lot of these characters obviously were they had been wrestling, and all of these wrestlers were already there, ready to go. And we approached him and said, well, how would they feel about doing this, like kind of being featured and having that be the stage for this video, and the idea of it, and they loved it. They couldn't have done a better job. Sadly, we actually weren't able to be there on the day of filming where all the wrestling shots were done, but we did get a little bit of a taste of it the first day, and yeah, I mean that's really how it came about. Our friend Charlie Saxton, who plays a role on the HBO series Hung, we've been friends with him for a while now, actually, and he had said even earlier in this year when the record came out, he's like, if you guys are doing a video, please let me be a part of it, and we wouldn't have had it any other way, and he nailed it, and he did above and beyond a phenomenal job. So yeah, and that's how it came about, and we sat down. The video was directed by Steve Penta, who was as stoked on the idea, if not more, when we approached him with it. So we knew that felt right, that he was really on board and got 100% what we were going for. So I think it all came together awesome. We couldn't be more proud of it.
Fits the song perfectly.
Yeah,
for sure. So tonight you guys announced that you're going to go on a tour in the winter, and you're going to play all of the Upsides live. And we were just wondering if you're going to be playing even some the really personal songs off of the reissue. Will you ever play a song like "We Won't Bury You" live, or is that too personal, too stripped down?
That's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't count it out. But I know for those shows, I think the biggest thing is focusing on the original 12 tracks.
For sure, yeah.
As it initially came out and was initially intended. The bonus tracks, obviously, that one especially because of the timing, was actually written for a friend of ours that happened to pass away even before he got to hear that song. But so yeah, I mean that's definitely a personal thing, and I can't say whether or not we may throw those in as well. But for the moment, the general idea is focusing on the record from track 1 to track 12, as we kind of tried to lay it out, and we spent a good deal of time coming up with the structure and the layout of the track listing, as we would want to hear a record, and like thinking about some of our favorite records and and why we like them and what was great about the order. And I'm sure you can understand, you have those records where you play your one of your favorite songs all the way through, and you almost feel unfulfilled when you don't hear that next song on it. Yeah, like
Upside's definitely one of those records.
Yeah, and we tried hard for that. Actually, like a perfect example that comes to mind is on the, not the last two, but I forget what numbers they are, but on Green Day Dookie, where you'll hear, I think it's,
You got me thinking that too.
I think it's She, and then it goes right into another song, and it's actually, I've had this thought where sometimes that song is like a B-side or whatever will get played on on like a local radio station or something.
They'll just play the B-side right after.
And I've heard it done a couple times where they actually play both tracks back to back instead of just playing, oh, okay, here's this B-side off it, and that makes me so happy when I hear that, because it's just like somebody had the same thought and was just like, it bleeds right in, and you can't play one song without the other. And that, I mean, we try and translate that to our live set too. So, yeah. But for now, we'll probably just focus on the original release.
And do you think you guys will be headlining? Do you know who you're gonna take out?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure about all the shows, because it's actually it's just a short group of shows before the holidays. And then we're actually only doing one in the center of the country in Springfield, Missouri, and then one in Anaheim at Chain Reaction. And we're actually doing those on our way heading out to the studio to record a brand new record in January. So it's not so much a tour. We do a few shows in mid-December and then do the 2 in January on the way out. But I think A Loss for Words is on a few of the shows. Our friends in Vera from Georgia, who are doing really well right now. They just put out an incredible record.
Really good record.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I think there's a few more, but I don't want to misspeak and say that one band is on a show that is actually not. But yeah, those two for sure. Will be on at least the days that we do in the Northeast, so, which is awesome because they've been good friends of ours for so long, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So,
is there like a dream producer that you would want to do the new album with?
Yeah, and I mean we actually we're going to be doing the new record with Steve Everett.
Oh my God, yeah, that's like lifetime right there.
Yeah.
That's a great record.
Who's done a lot of really albums that are definitely landmark, like to the genre, and records that we grew up listening to. He's done a bunch of Saves the Day records, obviously. Yeah, records that sound incredible and are timeless, honestly. And that's part of the reason why we were so excited when we first started talking to him, because there are a lot of guys out there that can make phenomenal sounding records, but we wanted to go with somebody like Steve that kind of understood what we were trying to go for and where to go in terms of the next step after a record like the Upsides, and how to approach that. And I think we're on the same page with him. So yeah, so we'll be doing the record out.
That's just incredibly awesome to hear, and super exciting, and we definitely cannot wait to hear that. And so finally, we'd just like to ask you, give us like the main reason why people should check out the Wonder Years, why people should listen to your band.
Because I hope you'll like it, but more so than that, I'd say because I think they might find that they relate to what we're trying to do really well. That's a lot of kids that have listened to us for the past couple of years, and even kids that have just stumbled across our new record have reached out to us and said that it's helped them in seeing that there are other people out there that relate to the same thing and go through a lot of the similar progressions in life, and the upsides especially is it's a record about kind of fighting back at the things that can tend to keep people down, whether it just be monotony of your day-to-day routine, to the little things that kind of build up and want to weigh you down. I think there's a lot of relatable stories and anecdotes on the record that a lot of people have told us, speak to them personally and have helped them through some tough times, and that was obviously is amazing for us to hear. But at the end of the day, it's a record that embodies, I think, things that everybody goes through. So check it out. It's it's a record that's us. It's very much ourselves, and we put a lot of work into it, and hope that it can reach people and possibly yourself in the same way. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview, Casey. If you guys haven't already checked out the Upsides, definitely check it out. It will totally restore your faith in this kind of music and just kind of music in general. And once again, this is Miracle of Rockstar Addiction. See you later, guys.